That's actually, I use that trick all the time. I use that trick on dates. I use that trick with other people. Like if we go to a restaurant and they are rude to the wait staff or anything, I worked in restaurants for 20 years.
Ditto.
Like if you are rude to your waiter, waitress, bartender, I'm not going to do business with you. I'm going to immediately trigger that. People looking at doing a JV, what are the things that you usually see that cause the biggest problems, the biggest hiccups, things to fall apart? Because we've all heard the negative stories, right? Somebody didn't get paid or they got burned. What can they do? Like, what's some advice?
Well, when this, by the way, is some of the very first content at JVology Live, and it's called the JV Mindset. Think of it as a Venn diagram because it's a Venn diagram. And there are three key pieces to it that if ever something goes awry, you can always trace it back to one or more of these three foundational pieces. And the first of which is abundance. And it is when you're looking for a JV partner, this is why that whole thing of a joint venture is a game of I'll go first. When you're looking for somebody who has an abundant mindset, isn't driven by scarcity, all of those pieces, that is one of your most important foundations. Do you know Glenn Ledwell?
I don't.
He runs the Flight Club Mastermind. He runs, what the heck is it? Mind Movies. You remember Mind Movies?
No.
From the personal development world? No? Okay. 2 for 2. Anyway, hell of an entrepreneur, does like strong 8 figures and has for a very long time in those spaces. So one of his simple things is that if we're at the bar and the person who's trying to actually figure out a JV deal or any of those sorts of things doesn't pay for the drink, I won't JV with them. It's just as simple as if somebody is being cheap in that environment, you can be damn certain that if there's a problem, if there's a kink, if there's a difficulty, if there's a challenge, they're not going to be leaning on the side of let's be generous and take care of our partner. They'll be leaning on the other side. So it's just, I don't. So to me, you're looking for ways in which they treat people, ways in which they demonstrate abundance, ways in which they choose to be generous, ways in which they treat people, even or particularly at times where there's no benefit for them. So watch people's behavior, because if they're nice to you and a complete ass to the waiter or the waitress, that's a pretty good sign. Run like hell.
That's actually, I use that trick all the time. I use that trick on dates. I use that trick with other people. Like if we go to a restaurant and they are rude to the wait staff or anything, I worked in restaurants for 20 years. Like if you are rude to your waiter, waitress, bartender, I'm not going to do business with you. I'm going to immediately trigger that. If you're listening to this, chances are that you want to go. So Jay, where should people go to learn more about this?
If they want to go to the summit, it's jvologysummit.com. So just jvologysummit.com. And if you want just sort of the broader pieces of everything that JVology does, they can just go to jvology.com and they'll get pointed off to the JVology Live or the summit or whatever else they might be interested in.
That's awesome. If you guys are listening to this and you want to get involved, go to jvology.com. Get involved with this program. Jay is just as nice as he sounds. He really does care about your success. He's a truly phenomenal human being. Jay, thank you so much for being on.
Brother, I really appreciate it, Steve.
No problem. To all of you listening, thank you. Tune in next time. And until then, take action, change lives, and make money. We'll see you soon.